And hi everyone, welcome to VCTV, which is the Venture Capital TV from LATOKEN, as you can see. So today I'm joined by my co-moderator, Terence Duncan, who's going to introduce himself a little bit more later. So today's topic is about investments in esports and entertainment. I mean, obviously we have covered this topic with different speakers on a different day, but today, because we believe every day information is changing and you know, sort of fast, so we need to keep up. That's why we host VCTV every day, Monday to Friday. 2 shows in a day for Asia time, which is like, you know, we have different times in the day, but 8 p.m. Singapore time stays constant. So please, guys, tune in at 8 p.m. My show is upcoming, and don't forget to tune in. Thank you so much. Before I jump into the topic and start talking to the speakers, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sunny Mohanty. I'm the Regional Director of LATOKEN, and I'm based here in Singapore. The entire goal, I just want to quickly talk about VCTV. The entire objective and goal of VCTV, which is the Venture Capital TV, is to connect founders and investors. Because of the coronavirus, we can't travel, we can host our roadshows, so we have to move everything online. Hence, you are here. So fantastic. I would like to pass the floor to Terence for a quick intro about himself and he's going to speak a little bit about LATOKEN as well, because he's a new joinee, and then we go from there. Terence, over to you, please.
Thank you, Sunny. Hello, everybody. For those watching out there or just tuning in somewhere, welcome. Today, we're going to be discussing a little bit on esports and the entertainment industry on its own. What we're going to try to achieve here is we're going to try to see and try to marry the whole Bitcoin blockchain type of platform into the whole industry on its own. So we're going to be touching on a few topics there. And just quickly to kind of introduce myself as well. So again, I'm Terence from LATOKEN. And for those who are unsure what LATOKEN is, we are merely a cryptocurrency exchange. So we look at liquidity and new tokens and listing them and really working with some of the projects that we actually handle and join in long-term partnerships. So that's what we do on a whole. So before we even start, I think it's good to kind of introduce all our speakers. So let's start with John. John, perhaps you can quickly kind of chime in and introduce yourself, what you do, where you're from. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Terence, and also Sony. Yeah, this is John Lee. I came from South Korea. Actually, I am in Seoul, South Korea, only one speaker from Far East. I have been working in the games industry more than 7 years, and now this is my 4th year as a venture capitalist. I am focusing on digital content to make an investment, and really good to be here.
Thank you, John. Gustav, over to you.
Thank you very much, Terence. So my name is Gustav. I am the CEO and the co-founder of Memo. And Memo is an entertainment startup based out of Stockholm, Sweden, where I am based right now and calling in from. Memo is a platform for celebrity video shoutouts. So you as a brand or as an individual can go on there and select your favorite celebrity and type your request, and then they will send you that for your birthday or for your wedding or whatever it might be. And all the celebrities set their own price, and we take a 25% cut.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Gustav. Anil, welcome.
Okay, thanks, Terence. This is Anil Joshi. I'm from India, based out of Mumbai. We run an early stage venture capital fund named Unicorn India Ventures. We focus on tech-enabled businesses and chime in anywhere around seed stage to pre-series A, series A stage. Currently, we have a portfolio of 30 companies, 7 companies in UK and rest all in India. We also have a small fund based out of UK, which is a cross-border fund, and that's why we have 7 companies portfolio in UK. So happy to be here. Look forward to interactive session. Thank you.
All right, that's great. Okay, so that's the introduction bit, all done and dusted with. Now, before we start, again, for all of you viewing in, thank you and welcome to VCTV by LATOKEN. So today we're going to discuss esports in particular and entertainment itself within the whole, let's say, blockchain ecosystem itself. Now, it's wide ranging at the moment. Popularity with esports and entertainment is definitely surging. The whole coronavirus has even made this global popularity a hit. Now, what's defining the future of esports and entertainment? Let's kind of discuss on that first. John, perhaps you can tell us what you see from the region itself. What's the future look like, and how are we tying it into the whole industry of crypto itself?
Okay, thank you for your question. Actually, personally, I believe the esports is originated from Korea because it was around 2 decades ago when the StarCraft, which is a Blizzard game, was hit by the game. The Korean players are they are crazy. They are ruling the world. So they made professional leagues, and now we are seeing the esports on the screen. Yeah, so esports market is getting rocket high, but actually the size of the revenue is just 2 billion this time, which is approximately same as Korean commercial movie size. It's not that big. It's not that big because most of the people who watching the esports are very young, like a middle school student or the high school students. But as you know, the players of the esports, like a Faker is a T1 Entertainment, who is a League of Legends player. The salary is really high, like more than 5 million unofficially, and also they are became a star. So I believe in a decade or 2 decades, whenever the younger viewers getting older, so they can spend more money on that, then the esports market will be bigger and bigger. So I believe it's personally a kind of marketing the billboard. The homework is how to utilize it.
Hmm. Okay, that's great. Gustav, how
Mhm.
about the entertainment side in particular? What do you think? What's the future looking like?
Yeah, thank you very much, Terence. And I also want to add there on John Lee. I think it's super exciting to hear from Korea. I myself was actually a StarCraft player. So we were meeting a lot with Koreans, and they were totally ruling the game. So yeah, very exciting to hear. So besides esports, yes, I've been involved in entertainment for not that many years, but we started Memo about a year and a half ago. And before that, I was also helping entertainment companies and seeing it develop. And I think the realm that we are in, called passion economy, where you enable celebrities and just individuals to live on their passion and have fans supporting them. I think we're seeing a huge trend shift in the power going from institutions such as record companies and movie production companies and just big corporations overall, and more to the individual itself. So today you can become a YouTuber, and you don't need support from a big company. You just need the support from your fans and your viewers. So we see a big power shift there from who actually brings in the power for these individuals, so to speak. And then in the wider space, I think we also see that it's going way more into digital. It's super exciting to see all the possibilities we have in AR, VR, and how that will be adopted by music, cinema, even in books. I think the entertainment industry is standing before a very big shift the coming 5 years here.
Right. Thank you, Gustav. I mean, you're right. In terms of global popularity, again, I think it's surging on all fronts. I mean, we see good numbers coming out. We see new developers, publishers, and titles as well. Anil, how about your side? Tell us a bit of what you see in the future for esports and entertainment in particular at this moment.
So, as you rightly said, this Corona period have certainly helped surging the both industries, right? Apart from eating, resting, I think the only thing initial part of the this Corona lockdown period, people did only two things. One was entertainment, so watching content online, and second was playing games, right? So let me give some perspective. Gaming always had been very interesting aspect, both whether it is mobile or web. And with improvising and the betterment of devices, more and more people have started adopting mobile games, right? So you will see a host of people playing mobile games, and then you need to find a way to monetize it, right? One is advertisement, or you have paid games. But just to have your clientels hooked on, most of them are all free, and then you pass levels, and you keep on going to next level by winning some tokens, or some points, right? So that was single player game, and then because of net connectivity, you started looking at multiplayer games, right? Between two, between three, between four. And that actually opened up the room for esports, right? Why can't we have make it as a tournament, and it can also become a rewarding for players, right? So everybody over a period of time build expertise, and if you enable them to play online, and if it's a tournament, then it becomes more exciting factor, right? And also helps in getting extra revenue. So if you look at today, though the revenue must be the size of the industry is around $1 billion. I think world over, esports is now going to get traction, because it's not dependent anymore on infrastructural need, because most of the esports can be played on phone. Most of the phones are all smartphones, and I believe that every phone is now hooked to 4G. Soon it will be 5G, so you can play at your will, right? So that
Right.
power in your hand makes this industry more exciting. And we as an investor believe that these are the early days, and it's only going to increase irrespective of we getting to normalcy, whenever we have certainty about this coronavirus going, or having some solution to it. But even in normal circumstances, we believe that this industry is now going to stay and is going to grow. So from
Right.
investor perspective, we see it's more adoption, because more and more people would like to get into gamings, right?
Right.
So
Right. Thank you for that, Anil.
interesting time
Yeah.
going ahead.
Yeah. So you heard it here. To those who are viewing, the investment within the space is definitely gaining the attention it needs. We have VCs out there waiting to listen to you, and you can actually get on board and join us. So do come to us. Do come and ask how this is done. I think we can help you with that. Now, I think moving on to a rather general question here for the panel, let's talk a little bit about technology trends today. And let's touch on blockchain, cryptocurrency. Let's touch on that and see where it's headed now. Let's talk about some titles. Let's talk about some projects. And let's talk about some of the brands or names that you see out there. So perhaps, again, we'll go with John first. Perhaps you can comment what's happening in your side of the region.
Yes, in South Korea,
Hmm.
actually the Bitcoin exchange market, or the, what can I say, the kind of the market is kind of not illegal this time. The people see that it's kind of betting or gambling, so it's not activated. So South Korea, the crypto market is getting smaller and smaller, and it's kind of a pain in my neck because I was looking for the investment for that field. But in Korea, investment in that section is a kind of suicide. So the venture capitalists around me also just avoid it. It's very sad part. But Korean game companies, like mobile game companies, try to adapt crypto-sized games, or they are using the kind of technology for the enforcement of the security. So a lot of positive activities are going on. However, I don't think they are going to make tons of money, because Korean game market, they also the size is just be stable like this time, and also cryptocurrency is not that activated at this moment.
Is that only the case for Korea, John, or do you see similar trends in Asia?
I think it's only Korea. Japan and China, it is activated. So
Right.
much money is inflows, but
Okay, I
only
have a
Korea is behind.
John, I've got a follow-on question because once upon a time, like last year, Korea was like hosting all the big crypto and blockchain conferences, and we were actively traveling to Korea to attend those conferences. There are a lot of startups out of Korea in the space, a lot of investments. So what happened? Is it because of the coronavirus? Is to blame for this slowdown?
Actually, the coronavirus doesn't damage of it. I mean, before that, the government tried to prohibit it and also stop to make it growing. I have no idea why, but government is now stop it. So our cryptocurrency market is getting smaller and smaller, and nobody would like to try to bet on it.
Right. All right. Sorry, over to you, Terence. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for that, John. Gustav, on your side, when it comes to technology, trends, the crypto market, how's it like within the entertainment side of things? What's new? What do you see out there?
Yeah, I think it's I think my view is best from the Swedish perspective. I've not been that involved in the crypto community on the entertainment side. Just want to front that from start. But on a general level, I think in a bit similar to what John is saying, it's definitely been cooling down the last year. We've had many prominent companies that have been coming out from the region. One of them called KNC Miner that went bust a few years ago, and I think after the last year, it's been a bit cooling off after being one of the hottest topics in tech and also in entertainment, with how crypto could help democratize payments and payouts to artists and creators, which has been a huge problem in the industry where transparency is key. Just how that works for artists in music, for instance. We know after talking with many of the talent that we're working with that you expect anything between 10 to 20% of your fees for concerts to never get paid or get paid very, very late, months or even years. So I think crypto definitely has so much potential in the industry to help with the transparency and help with just trust overall. But we have unfortunately not seen that. And I think one of the big reasons for that can be that generally the crypto market in itself has been cooling off. Unfortunately, I think there's so much potential in it, and I would love that to be coming back, and I think that it will. Not sure why that has been the case now this past year, but at Memo, that's something we're definitely looking into, and I think that could be part of our way of reimbursing the talent that we have on our platform. Currently, we're doing that in payments, normal bank transfers, but I would love to have a token that would be working more as a currency itself, because I think that would be helpful for everyone, and I think that's something the entertainment industry needs. But I don't know how long that will take. It might be a bit far off, unfortunately.
Okay, so I think we are kind of seeing a little slowing down or even a little tapering in terms of pace from like you rightly mentioned, countries like Sweden, South Korea. These are also kind of mature countries when it comes to the esports and entertainment itself. Anil, can you help us out and give us a broader perspective of things? Any countries in focus or any companies that you think are creating some waves out there?
So, if you look at India, crypto, was not happening, because of regulatory issues, right? But recently, Supreme Court have given verdict that it cannot be banned. So people are trying to work around it. But coming to this specific industry around esports and entertainment, I haven't seen much action on entertainment side, but certainly I'm seeing action on esports side, right? Entertainment, of course, we if you talk about OTT and all are happening, people are creating their own exchanges for or platform for hosting of content around their themes. But esport is certainly gaining traction, right? Recently we have seen a few companies coming up, and in fact we started tracking a couple of companies. We were interacting with a couple of esports company just before pandemic started. And if I am not wrong, back end of March India went into lockdown, and we had been continuously monitoring this one company. And in fact we have closed one transaction in esports. And reason being that the kind of surge we saw month after month in esport made us believe that this is going to stay, right? Because there are two challenges in any industry: one acceptance, and second is adoption, right? So acceptance has happened, now adoption will certainly happen, because people see value in it, people see people get connected to it, right? There is no dearth of gamers, right? As long as we have interesting games, like for example for uh, you know political reasons, PUBG was banned in India, right? Which was one of the happening game on esports. Irrespective of that, we didn't saw fall in on uses pattern on this platform which we are investing in. PUBG was replaced by some other game, right? So as long as you have a good platform, as long as you have rules and uses which are to the expectations of user, right? Because any user, if he's on platform, he want to have seamless experience. As long as that is being taken care, I think we will always see more and more people coming on platform, right? The only thing you need to see that how you keep your people engaged, right? How you make playing game on your platform easier, right? So yes, esports is gaining traction for sure. India, in any case, it's very good on entertainment, right? One of the largest industry in world is entertainment is in India. So we are seeing different formats, people are getting adopted, and going forward India will have a mix of both, right? Physical and virtual world going parallelly. Large consumer base, large country, and people have liking for both. I think we are going to see exciting time both side.
Right.
Right? So
I mean,
India is looking quite positive in my view going forward. And talent is not an issue. We have host of software guys, so both back end, front end, middleware. I think I see good times going ahead as far as both entertainment and esports industry is concerned.
Right. Terence, are you done?
yeah.
Okay, great.
Over
So
to
I've
you, Sony.
Now Terence is thinking to invest some money.
yeah, exactly. I was for a moment thinking, has he frozen on
I'll
me?
not be surprised if John also starts looking some companies in India now.
Exactly. I was
Oh,
thinking.
we'll get to that soon. Don't worry. Sony goes after this
Yeah.
first.
I'm very curious about this startup memo. I have a few questions for Gustav. While Terence was keeping you busy, I just little bit did my research on memo, and I very because I said I love any concept with celebrities getting involved and stuff like that. So just to ask you a quick question, it's a startup that was founded in 2019 and you expanded to Norway in 2019. In late 2019, you raised like 2 million euros from very net worthy investors in the US. And you did something over COVID-19. You launched this campaign as well. Okay, as a startup, because these kind of success stories definitely inspires other startups, especially what you're doing in the field of entertainment. Can you take us through your journey, like when you started, founded, you expanded, how did you expand? What kind of issues or hurdles you faced? How did you manage to raise this investment? And what did you do during COVID-19 to bring back that audience back to your platform? Can you please take us through your journey, Gustav?
Sure, sure. Happy to. Thank you for the kind words. Yes. So we're still fairly early in, I would say. So me and my co-founders, we had the idea last summer, the summer of 2019. And in my personal background, I've been very inspired by meeting inspiring individuals that have had an impact in my life. And I've always had an ambition to make this possible to as many other people as I can through a tech-enabled platform. But the years went by and I could never really find how I would do it. So the concrete idea of this we found actually last summer. I was at a wedding in France and I saw the French groom receiving one of these videos at the wedding. So fast forward, we sat down, me, Tobias, and Daniel, who are our co-founders. And within 3 months, we ran as fast as we could. We built out the platform. We hired the team of about 20 people and onboarded the celebrities and raised about 2 million euros in 3 months. So that was a very, very fast-paced journey. And yeah, it's been crazy since. What we do is making people happy. So it's a very passionate and inspiring thing to do. And to be honest, you know, we launched in December 2019, so it's almost a year ago. And when COVID hit, we didn't know what to expect, like everyone else, I suppose. So the first week we were not really sure about what to do and what would happen. But what turned out was that COVID actually turned out to be positive for us because of two reasons mainly. Our talent is mainly sports or culture, so within entertainment, and business for those people immediately stopped in a lot of ways. There were no concerts, there were no stand-up shows, there were no football games, there were no ice hockey games, and so on. And we were still there, so we could still help them make a living and earn money. So we saw talent signups increase by 250% per week compared to before COVID. And on the other side, on the sales, we saw that sales actually doubled because we were providing a way for people to connect with each other and send a fun digital gift from afar. So yeah, we were very humbly thankful for being able to operate 100% digitally and actually grow even from there when COVID hit. So yeah, it's been a turmoil and seeing all this happen. But in our team, we've actually been able to handle it and even grow further. So we're very, very thankful for that.
So what's that one thing you have to advise to other startups in a similar space that led to this journey where you are right now?
So I would say in general, not just in entertainment, but in general, it would be my number one advice would probably be that, done is way much better than perfect. Try to make as many mistakes as possible, but just make them one time. Don't repeat them. And then eventually you will find what works for you. Because what we are doing is something new. So we don't know what's going to happen. We can't really, look at someone and say, we will do this and that will work. So just try to experiment with a lot of things and eventually you will find what works for you.
Thank you, Gustav. So basically, startups, what Gustav means are be innovative. Don't just copy what's already there. Thank you so much.
Yeah, try a lot of things and make a lot of mistakes. Yeah.
Just one big mistake.
Maybe. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So Terence, over to you, please.
Yeah. Thanks, Sony. Again, for those viewing in and for our panels as well, keep in mind that we do have lots of business owners currently watching this, looking for VCs and hoping that you can shed some light on the industry or on their businesses itself. So just touching on that alone, as someone who is in the whole VC space and who's looking to invest, what are the kind of business models or revenue streams that you're hoping these companies would kind of have? Or what would you advise them before you even go in? So John, maybe you can give us a thing or two that you look out for.
Yes, I'm active with venture capitalist, so I am reviewing tons of many the companies every day. Yeah, they are bringing me out the kind of solid business model. That's what they're thinking. But I have the verification of it because it can be just their imagination or not going to be happen events. So what I want is actually the hard cash, but it's not going. It doesn't need to be the tons of bigger amount of revenue, even if the small amount of the revenue, but it's just solid cash and they give me a kind of confidence to make it scale up. That's the very first thing that I'm considering. The second one is the team, more than the revenue. The team is kind of solid, so they can keep it up their business for a long time without breaking up. That's another kind of positive factor for me. So I'm looking for those two things. So so business model doesn't need to be wide or big, but just to show me the possibility for the scaling up at the global wise. Uh, that's good for me.
Nice. Gustav, from your end, I mean, you received that seed capital, that seed money as well. What did you offer them? I mean, can you give us like an overview in terms of how did you kind of position your revenue stream in your business models?
Sure. Yeah. So we took in 2 million euros as a seed investment or even pre-seed. I think that was one of the biggest in Scandinavia in 2019. So just as John said, I think this was even before we had any revenue and even a platform. It was basically me and the other founders. So it was a lot on the conceptual level. I think what we pushed a lot for was one, the team and how well the team, us three at the time, fit with what we were doing. So we pushed for reasons why we were probably the best suited that they would ever find to do what we were about to do. And why would not anyone else go and do this better than us? Like really nailing that down. Why is it you and only you that are perfectly suited for this idea? It could be your background, experiences, or skills, whatever, but just it has to make sense. Secondly, we were trying to simplify what we were about to do as much as possible. So we then had, one revenue stream that we were going to focus on, one type of talent that we would bring in, one type of customer, just make it as simple as possible and very understandable for the investors that would listen to our plan. Because we felt the simpler we made our plan, the more clear it was and the easier it was to take in and buy into the concept and agree with our vision. And then third, I think it also weaves into number two with having a simple plan, but that was also a very staked out plan. We knew we were going to launch in 3 months. In 6 months, we're going to have X. We were able to set out these milestones and say within 12 months, this is what our revenue is going to be like. So I think the reason why we had many buy into the concept was because they liked the idea and also that they liked us as a team, but also that they liked our clear strategy that we were proposing, I would say.
Right. Again, thanks for that, Gustav. I hope those watching or tuning in, I hope you guys are taking notes there. Anil, over to you. You mentioned earlier that you're sitting on a pot of gold almost. What are you looking at when it comes to investing in some of these businesses and up and coming companies out there? Is there a business model, revenue stream that you're particularly focused on? Tell us a little bit more.
So, I actually resonate with, John, on this aspect. I think for us, what is more important is, mix of team, right? As a fund, we lay a lot of, emphasis on, quality of team, type of team, the skill sets they bring in, and their understanding about the industry, right? So if that falls in place, I think this is a very unique industry, right? Gaming industry, by nature has always been on premium model, right? People will play free and then they will use points, tokens, to go to next level, right? So it's a very unique industry. But when we speak about esports, actually it offers a few revenue stream, and we, when evaluate this kind of opportunity, we certainly want to see what are the thought process around the quality of revenue stream. For example, if somebody have built a platform, is this platform offered for free or there is a fee to it, right? So if people start paying fee and use it, then certainly the platform have some stickiness, right? Why I would go and pay and use it if it's not offering me a worth, right? So the robustness of platform which enables them to charge a fee, right, for conducting tournaments. The other major revenue stream which makes this industry interesting is sponsorship, right? When we talk about sports, sponsorship is one which is applicable to everyone and is applicable here as well, right? And then of course advertisement revenue, right? Because there are people who are watching the sports, right? So can you target audience who can look at my brand, right? So when we evaluate any opportunity, we certainly look at this kind of aspects, like what are the thought process around all this mix of revenue, whether team is thinking on this directions or not, right? Do they want to offer platform for free and only help people play, and over a period of time they make sponsorship and advertisement their main stream of revenue, right? Or they say whether sponsorship happen, doesn't happen, revenue happen, this advertisement happen, not happen. If I am able to attract, let's say few thousand audience who are playing and watching on my platform, then I want to charge for it, right? And this is what is virtual world, right? People are
Sorry, Anil, you're muted there.
oh sorry so today sorry about that. So people are today interested in watching live games, right, tournaments. And if that is the reason, then I may not want chime in some small dollar fees to it. So when we evaluate, we do look at all these aspects. And certainly we try to avoid investing in gambling or sin products. So we need to ensure the platform which is being made is focusing on what kind of games, right? What kind of activity will be carried out on this kind of platform, right? Are there any regulatory violation happening? So if this all goes well, then we certainly look at investing in this company. So sensitivity around revenue and all, but also we try to see if there are no violation, right? They're not violating any rule of land, right? So with all this aspect, if we find anything interesting, so we are investing in one company.
Great. Thanks, Anil. Sony, I think you have a question for Anil.
Yeah, Anil, I actually was researching. Good that I have Terence, so I get to research a bit more in details. So recently there was a investment made by your company, Gen Robotic, which was mentioned by Shri Amitabh Bachchan in Kaun Banega Crorepati. So is it? Can you just maybe talk a little bit about that project portfolio?
So of course there are some element of entertainment, but this is Amitabh Bachchan is one of the iconic superstar from India, known globally. But see, we had invested in a company called Gen Robotic, which is helping solving dirty problem for society. So they have made robot which helps automating manhole cleaning, right? And this is not only local, but it's a global problem, right? I think each of you would have noticed whenever there is a clogging of manhole, one of the way of cleaning it is sending people inside manhole, and then they have to clean it manually to make passage for passing sewage. So this company is a very unique company, and they have made fairly decent inroads, and have helped rehabilitating many this workers, right, who are involved in manual cleaning. That has actually given them opportunity to get good audience among industry, and as well as fraternity. So we were pleasantly surprised when Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, when asked about this question, right? It's very unusual somebody talk about startup doing this stupid job, and then you get spoken about, and question in a gaming show, right? It's a leading, I
India,
think, yeah, it's around that they ask multiple questions, and then you can win up to $1 million kind of reward. So that's what Sony it's all about. So this company is solving a unique problem, and this has been not only been referred by top dignitaries, but even our prime ministers have spoken about this. So it's a very interesting company, solving very unique problem,
right.
and helping making life cleaner for each of us.
Using the robotics technology, I
Yeah,
guess.
so it's all technology. So they're working on host of other products. They're also now working on rehabilitating people who cannot walk. So they're
Right.
working on on exoskeleton model, and this will be used by many hospitals in rehabilitating people who have problem in walking. They're working solutions around cleaning of high skyscrapers. They're making IoT products to monitor cleanliness. So host of other things, right? They're trying to work on.
Right.
So thanks for
Right.
asking this interesting question. Normally people don't touch upon this dirty topic.
No,
Thank
because
you.
because with the discussion, we're discussing entertainment. I thought Sri Amitabh Bachchan
Yeah,
endorsed one of your startup. I should mention it.
so nice
I'm a
of
big
you.
fan. I'm a
So
big
nice of
fan.
you. Yeah, so nice of you.
Right. Right.
Terence, over to
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for that, Anil. Again, it's quite interesting what we're seeing in the industry. Again, it is vibrant, it is growing, and growing quite a bit. Lots of companies are coming into the space. Lots of startups, lots of new businesses, lots of new business models. From a VC point of view, uh, what's your wish list? Let's talk about what you want to see. What's your prediction, and what do you hope some of these companies can achieve in that close short term? Let's start with you here, John.
Okay, actually, as a viewpoint of the venture capitalist, look at the esports as a kind of the new rocket high business. I really would like to this sports can alternative with traditional sports like a football, baseball, or the rugby or something like that. This can be a mainstream of the sports in the future, and it's kind of homework that we have to solve, like a technical thing and also game wise. No one knows a League of Legends will be going forever because when I was young, I thought the StarCraft will ruling the world whole my life, but actually not. New games are coming and the new streams are changing. So we have to get adapted. Each game will be the next mainstream. So whenever I make an investment on the esports related company, I would like to advise them like you have to very quickly be changed whenever the environment and circumstances are changing because no one knows what is going to be happening in this esports world.
Right. You're rightly so pinpoint on that. No one really knows what's happening. Popularity of certain games are just skyrocketing, and lots of investments are still being made. Lots of people are still losing. What about you, Gustav? Is there a wish list? Is there a prediction that you see for perhaps heavy on the entertainment side? What do you see?
You mean a wish list in terms of?
Yeah, where do you want some of the companies to go to? Or what do you want to see coming out from them at this moment?
Yeah, I think what both me and the creators, as we call the individuals living in the entertainment industry, be it YouTubers or actors or musicians and so on, want to see is more companies helping out this trend that I described before, with the power going from institutions to individuals. So I think there is a need for companies that help the creators with managing their finances. Also, celebrities in general, it's now more the famous people than ever in the world, and it's getting faster and faster to become famous. And I think there's a lot of confused famous people out there that not really know how they should handle this and how they can monetize this. So I think there is a need for platforms like this that can help them out, build out their following, but also help them monetize that following and everything around that, be it financial courses or just managing their finances, and help collaborating on projects and so on. So building around that and helping the creators thrive. We've seen many companies that have come up now in the last recent years that have been doing this and are doing really well, such as Patreon and OnlyFans and Substack and Medium. And I think that's just very, very exciting to see. And then the second note I think that is also very exciting is that we see more and more entertainment and media companies coming up that are not relying on advertising, but are more using business models that rely on in revenue streams that are more of payments and probably micropayments. So in our case, I think we are, one of the first social media companies, if you can say that not rely on ads, but we rely on actual payments. And I think this is, at least what we've heard, very appreciated by the VC world, where you actually get revenue from day one. It's becoming predictable. And otherwise, if you will rely on ads, you just need to have such huge volumes for it to make sense. So that is something I also would like to see more companies doing.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Gustav. I think that's an interesting point to raise, actually. Revenue from day one. So listen up to all you new businesses out there. Sony.
Yeah, I have a good data point to share with all the speakers today, because we are talking about esports and investments. Singapore headquarter Attention Holdings Limited, or ATTN, the parent company of EVOS, I think John Lee would know, Esports, has secured 12 million in a Series B investment round led by Korea Investment Partners, as per the release. The company says that its revenue went from live streaming arm doubled since the start of 2020 and continues to peak month after month. The company also said its overall revenue surpassed 2019 levels despite the coronavirus pandemic. So these are some of the green stories coming out from the startups and the investment that has been done very recently in the month of September 2020. I just wanted to add that obviously in the crisis, crisis also provides opportunities, and there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. I just wanted to end my note on that, and I'll let Terence do the closing remarks of the show and close the show after this. Thank you. Terence, over to you. That's all.
Thanks, Sony, for that interesting data point there. Anil, we'll probably end this question with you. Again, just touching back on your predictions, or even a little bit on your wish list, or what do you want to see with some of the companies in esports or entertainment? Perhaps you can comment. Yeah.
So I actually congratulate, Gustav about, being in revenue mode more from, their platform, right? Which actually, give confidence to investors, value of their platform or value of, the product they have built in, right? And if the quality of revenue comes from your platform, actually gives more confidence, right? So investors would be more, inclined to support, those development, right? So now we all know that esports or entertainment in general is actually, getting wider acceptance as far as consumption on handheld device or over online, mode. The acceptance have been established, across world. With that, I wish that we get more and more content around this format, right? Sometimes it becomes difficult to have span of attention for longer duration, right? I can't watch, 2.5 3 hour, content in single go when I'm, at leisure or on online. So need to see more and more content coming, especially esports, right? Entertainment, I think there is no doubt, because today we have so many platforms for, self, generated content which I can consume, or, host of other platforms. But when it comes to e-gaming, you actually need to, apply a lot of, efforts in building a game, right? It has to be, quality product which then can be rolled out and can be played. So I wish, we see more and more talent coming, and, start, building product which then can be, consumed by, consumer across world. The good part about gaming, right, it doesn't need any language. It needs, good animation. It needs, good graphics. It needs, good, combination of graphics and animation, right? So as long as you are able to have that, I think you are in game, right? That's my wish. I want to see more and more people coming and making it. And since platforms are there, you can now go and, monetize, your games. And it not necessarily that, see, I think during discussion it was said that, sometime, games are built and they die down, right? But we need to understand that there is an audience for your kind of games, right? If you have a platform, then, you can monetize that as well, right? So I
Right.
wish, we get more and more formats available for streaming of games which can be played across board, right?
Yeah.
So I'm actually looking happier time going forward.
Great, great ending there, Anil. I mean, thank you again to everyone on the panel, and for your insights and points that you raised out here. And for those watching and tuning in from wherever you are, you've heard it here first on VCTV by LATOKEN. Tune in for some other topics that we have as well. So just keep an eye out of what's happening in this space, because as we all hear and see, the money is real, the investments are being made, and the businesses are creating waves. So again, thank you all for tuning in and joining in, and thank you to our panel itself. Sony, any last words?
Yeah, I have a panel coming up at 8 p.m. Singapore. It's on international payment transactions and international mobile payments. Please, guys, don't miss out, and please do tune in at 8 p.m. Singapore. That's all I wanted to add. And you've been a fabulous panel. Thank you so much for being a part of VCTV and making VCTV what VCTV is today. As I always say, VCTV is today because of you all, and for your contribution and commitment to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye-bye.